Hello and welcome to another episode of Interview with a Schizophrenic. I'm your host, Duncan Samrasinger, and today I have the great pleasure of having Trevor with me. Trevor is 37 and he's from Ohio in America, and he has a diagnosis of schizophrenia. So welcome to the show, Trevor. How are you doing today?
Very good. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good as well, man. It's the weekend, and the weekend is always nice. So I'm just kicking back, chilling. I was watching the Disney Channel last night, some of the new series about Captain America. So yeah, just chilling out, man.
Nice.
So Trevor, what I want to ask you, if you'd give us a brief history of how your schizophrenia um, started. You know, if you go back to the beginning and talk about what happened, what were your first symptoms, and how it all began. That and just talk us through that. That'd be really fantastic.
All right. Let's see here. When I was about 16, I suffered depression, and before that, uh, I would used to ghost hunt, and I was interested in listening to like amplified silence and stuff for like ghosts,
Yeah.
and uh, it when I was 16, it elevated into the depression. Uh, I used to think that my dreams were connected to reality, and that the events that occurred in my dreams were, real events that and real opinions and stuff like that of the people in the dreams. Uh, and then around 28, I was diagnosed with schizophrenia. Uh, Between 16 and 28, I used to have uh, hallucinations of my neighbors talking to me outside my window. And, it sort of escalated from there. I believed in things. I believed in telepathy and, communications that way. And uh, things escalated, and I ended up in the hospital a few times.
Okay. Okay, man. Yeah. So you're talking about when you were 16 and you were ghost hunting. Um, did you mention that because you might think that's connected to your diagnosis?
It was just, mental health troubles started around 16. Uh, at least the more severe symptoms. Um, it was it was connected to schizophrenia, but it wasn't. At the same time, it was like just a depression, and from that depression, I feel like I developed a lot of views of the world that ended up affecting me later on.
Okay. Okay. Fine. Because the thing about depression, I feel looking at my own history that I was depressed in my late teen years, and you can actually get a diagnosis called psychotic depression, where the depression is so severe it brings on psychosis. I mean, do you think that might have what have happened to you?
Uh no, because when I was 16, uh, it was just a depression. It wasn't schizophrenia at that point, but um, that was a big year in my mental health, struggles was
Yeah.
uh was when I was 16, 17 years old. Um, it wasn't until later on that I was, thinking that I was hearing telepathy and voices and stuff like that.
Do you take antipsychotics?
Uh, yeah, I think I used to take Risperdal. I'm not sure what they have me on right now. Um, it's not very strong. Uh, it's yeah, I think it's an antipsychotic. They have
When
me
did
on. Oh,
when
go
did you
ahead.
start taking antipsychotics?
Probably about 4 or 5 years ago.
Okay.
I've been kind of resistant to them
Yeah.
because because I don't believe that antipsychotics are the cure, for schizophrenia. I think it comes from uh, physical uh, a physical means uh, that I've discussed this on the forum where I believe the balance system is the center for hearing voices. Like when you turn on a fan or a space heater and you start to hear voices,
Yeah.
um, like a fan or a space heater is going to be the same instrument as your balance system. And I think that when you turn those on, you activate your balance system to hear voices and communicate that way.
Okay. Fine. Trevor, do you hear voices at the moment?
Uh, they've been really light lately. Uh, Nothing serious. Uh, about a year ago, it ended where it was very serious for probably about 6 years. Um, but then my father passed away, and that didn't cause the voices to stop. But I moved like briefly after he passed away, and I think moving around helped a little bit. Uh, Moving to a new location and having new surroundings. Uh, it didn't stop the voices, but when I moved back home from where I moved out to, I really haven't heard them uh, like since then.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. So, are you claiming disability at the moment?
I filed for it, but I got denied uh, about 8 months ago. So we resent the claims back in to try to argue with them, and we
Mm,
haven't heard back yet.
okay. Okay. Fine. I mean, do you feel this illness has essentially, um, you know, taken away your quality of life? Has it mean that you can't work or that you can't socialize in a normal way? I mean, because of the schizophrenia.
I would say that was true for the past 6 years, but this past year I've been in pretty good health. Actually, I've been not hearing too many voices, uh, not having the month long story episode kind of you know sorry not having like the episodes where they last and last, and I get all confused. And but for the
Okay,
past
fine.
year, oh, go ahead.
No, no, no. Carry on. Carry on.
Yeah, for the past year, it's been I've been doing better, I would say. I still hold some of the beliefs that I had when I was strongly hearing voices, but you know, they just haven't really been there. They spark up after I wake up from vivid dreams. I'll still hear voices when I wake up, but they haven't really been as strong in influencing my behavior.
Yeah. Okay, fine. Um, what do you feel is the biggest barriers for you at the moment when because your the voices are a bit lighter, you're feeling a bit better the last 6 months. What are your barriers at the moment which prevent you from living a normal life?
Uh I guess just fear right now. I'm afraid that you know there's always something new, around the corner is kind of the thing. Even though the past 6 months have been, or the past year has been, better, that doesn't guarantee that the next year will be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It it's been like this before, where I've felt, you know, stable, and then I end up tripping down a rabbit hole at some point, and then I end up in psychosis again.
Okay. Okay, fine. Have you ever experienced? I mean, okay, let me ask you some questions. Um, have you ever experienced any discrimination you'd like to talk about?
Um, on the internet, yeah, but not in person. I don't get like shunned when I go out into public or anything. But on the internet, when I discuss things, uh, sometimes I'll discuss something like, uh, my thoughts on the balance system or the gyroscope, and people will just tell me I need help and that I need to seek mental health. Then I always take, you know, sort of offended by that, because I already seek mental health, and they come off as kind of pompous, telling me that I need to go into the hospital just because I wrote up, something on a forum or something like that.
Yeah, I see your post. I mean, I know Trevor. We go on the same forum, and he's also one of my Facebook friends. You often talk about the tailbone wagging as well, don't you? I don't really understand it.
Yeah, well, when when I was 28, I came up with like a list of things to work on associated with schizophrenia and gravity, and to try to connect the two. And I found the tailbone, or I thought maybe my tailbone is involved somehow, and that was back in 2012. And I didn't look at it again until 2017, um, or 2018 actually. Um, so for 6 years, I just kind of ignored it. I think a lot of people do that. Uh, there's been uh, one guy on the internet who said that he was a baseball player, and um, that instead of leading with his hips, which they tell him to do in batting, he leads with his tailbone, and he can hit the ball a lot farther. And he made the All Star team ever since he started doing that. And that was about the only person that I've run into that has like at least, you know, they use their tailbone in some manner.
Trevor, I think when I see your posts on like the gyroscope, the tailbone, I think it needs to be translated. I think you have your own understanding of it, which is probably quite clear. But for other folk that don't really understand it, so it probably needs to be translated into a way that other folk can understand. I think that's probably what. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah, like I think it's just both those things are new pieces of information. When you Google search tailbone or human tailbone wagging, uh, the the Google answers are that are read back are my answers on forum posts because there's like zero information out there
Yeah.
about the tailbone. Uh, yeah, there's just not very much information for people to reference.
Okay. Why don't you tell me about your art? Because I know you also produce original art pieces.
Oh, uh, that's something that started when I was having pretty severe episodes. Um, the very first one I made was was to try to find a circuitry for my gyroscope invention because I wanted the gyroscope to measure. You know how when you laugh really hard, like a fan will like swoosh,
Yeah.
sort of. Um, that my thought was that you could take a, a instrument to measure the power to going into the fan, and that could measure not just the power going into the fan, which changes when it swooshes, but it would also measure emotion in the atmosphere. So that's the sort of stuff that you know I don't know the answer to, and I end up my mind ends up wandering, and I end up making up new information that throws me off, and I end up believing in telepathy again and voices and the whole thing. But yeah, my art was to uh, just paint pictures um, for this gyroscope circuitry where I had five emotions: happiness, love, sadness, fear, and anger. And I painted like little just blurry scratches on the paper above the five the five emotions, and they turned out like it was some sort of like ancient uh
Language.
yeah, like it was some sort of uh pictures that someone had drawn before, and they were like coming out of my hand as I painted, and it looked like perfect. The five emotions, I had five little paintings of each emotion, and they matched up. Like there was a face in each of the little paintings that matched up with the emotion that it was supposed to. And I was like, how the hell did that happen? And so I started like painting like crazy, and I just got into it, and I ended up painting like 800 pictures.
Cool. Do you have a website for your art?
People can look up Trevor 7 Art, which is a Facebook page, and that has a lot of my ideas about the tailbone and the gyroscope, and a bunch of paintings to look at.
Okay, cool. I'll put the link in the description of this episode. Um, okay, Trevor. I just want to ask you two more questions. Is there anything I haven't asked you that you would like to talk about? If you'd like to talk about anything, what would it be?
Uh, I don't know. I always wanted to ask for forgiveness. If anyone is watching this or listening to it that I've offended, uh, there was a long period of time in my life from 28 to 36 where I was very confused about telepathy, and I would have dreams about my friends from high school and from beyond high school, and I would wake up and I would hear them uh, through the space heater as voices, and I would get confused about telepathy, and I would, make rude remarks to them in reality, and so anyone who's watching that sounds familiar with, I just want to apologize to them that it came from places that uh, weren't factual, to say the least.
Okay, fine. Yeah, I mean, it can be a confusing condition, um, and sometimes we want to lash out. So I completely understand where you're coming from, Trevor. Okay, and the final question: can you let me know a particular type of music that you prefer, and I will include it on this episode.
Uh, Whatever you got laying around, I can't. Maybe,
I like electronic. Do you like electronic or
yeah, electronic's good.
cool? Cool. Okay, Trevor. I just want to say thank you very much for speaking with me. Um, I like your posts on Facebook. You post some amusing sort of like poems or limericks. Like they always kind of make me chuckle. So thank you for that. And you're always on the forum, and I always try to read your posts. So just I'm glad that you agreed to join me today. It was a real pleasure.
Yeah, yeah, me too.
Okay, and that is the end of this episode.